Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And here we go. Cracked record? Broken record? I don't know. I don't care. But here is another confirmation of the trust that you can place in Bitcoin. Now, this is just a little article about the Bitcoin 2022 conference down in Miami, which was attended by quite a few billionaires just praising up Bitcoin like nobody's business. But more than that, and this is the important part, more than that, they were calling out the fiat banking system as a fraud. Okay, and that is the most important thing happening right now, is people are waking up to the fact that the whole central banking system is based on fraud. The whole fiat notion of fractional reserve, in other words, that you can, if you have $1, you can lend out $9 against that $1. Okay, you go to the RCMP or any police office in your area and ask them if, when you get home, for every dollar you have in your pocket, you can print off 9 more and lend those out at interest. And of course they're going to tell you it's a fraud. That's fraud. You can't photocopy money and create more money than there actually is. And that's exactly what the banks do all the time. The governments and the banks are in cahoots with each other, and we are the ones that pay a huge penalty. And because we're coming to the end of the fiat system, of course the inflation is gathering steam, and we're really noticing it in the cost of goods. And of course, now that's another little interesting thing I find when I'm talking to people about inflation. There is a bit of a disconnect, and so many things in the financial world are inverse. And so when you see food prices going up, that's what you see, but actually what is happening in reality is the value of your dollar is going down. And it keeps going down. The whole system is designed to go to zero. This is when you have your Minsky moment, and all of a sudden those debts start to drag you down, and it doesn't matter whether you are a country, globally, or an individual. It all looks and feels exactly the same way. You start going down real quick as those debts become unsustainable. And so to have that being repudiated, and of course the interesting thing about that is, if all of the fiat banking system is a fraud, then every debt that was created with that fraud is also a fraud. And you don't have to pay a fraudulent debt. Think about that. Think about that. And anyways, let me read you this article. It's very interesting. Listen to the repudiation. Listen to what these billionaires are saying. I mean, these are people, if you got $1 billion, you've got to figure that they got something on the ball. Okay, it's something to say. So here we go. Let's just flip over and do this article, and we'll come back and I'll do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. So this from Zero Hedge. It's curtains for the US. Billionaires are backing Bitcoin over fiat fraud. Bitcoin 2022 has already established itself as one of the more memorable such conferences in recent memory, not only because of the sheer number of bold-faced names on the speaker's roster, but also because of what they have said. During his keynote speech, Peter Thiel denounced the finance gerontocracy, Diamond, Fink and Buffett, for their opposition to Bitcoin, and declared the cryptocurrency as a critical alternative to fiat money and, more importantly, equities. Interestingly enough, Thiel wasn't the only billionaire to share a scathing criticism of the fiat money system during this year's conference, something that Bitcoin enthusiasts have been shouting from the rooftops for years. Yes, we have. During a panel entitled Billionaire Capital Allocators, a host of other billionaires shared similar skepticism of the fiat system. They have a distinct advantage over most of their audience. While many crypto enthusiasts belong to the younger generation, millennials and Gen X, billionaires like Mexico's third richest man, Ricardo Salinas, have visceral memories of the failures of fiat, namely hyperinflation, and they shared this experience with his audience. I have a big grudge against fiat. I call it the fiat fraud, Salinas, the owner of Mexico's Banca Azteca, said on Thursday.
He then shared a story about how his salary as a young business school graduate in Mexico during the 1980s declined from around $2,000 a month to just $20 a month during a period of 6 years. That's hyperinflation, he said. Echoing Peter Thiel's controversial comments, Salinas also spoke to the religiosity of its high priest in his keynote address. This Fiat religion has its high priests, and you can see them right there, and their religion is not tolerant, Salinas explained. They hate anyone who is a heretic. There's a lot of heretics in this room right now. Closing his thoughts, Salinas warned the crowd of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. If the CBDC is issued, these people will have full control over how you can spend your money, he cautioned. Why does Salinas think they are so bad? Because you lose all sovereignty in the use of your funds. They think it's a bad idea. They close your capacity to spend your money, Salinas predicted. That being said, Salinas noted that not all cryptos are created equal. Unfortunately, it's curtains for the US. Sell your shitcoins and buy Bitcoin. Salinas added that 60% of his investment portfolio is now in Bitcoin or Bitcoin-linked equities. According to Bitcoin magazine, that's up from 10% in 2020. Salinas also denounced bonds as toxic and a terrible investment that he wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Another billionaire speaker, the Puerto Rican financier Orlando Bravo, the co-founder of private equity firm Thomas Bravo, told his audience that he's been getting calls from sovereign wealth funds and pension funds, some of the largest pools of capital around, and they're inquiring about getting into crypto. Even these firms are looking for ways to hedge the collapse of the dollar-based international financial system. And is there a better alternative than crypto? You don't have to be an economist to see what's going on with inflation, he said, pointing to the $2 trillion that was injected into the economy. You can make all kinds of excuses on supply chains and the geopolitical issues, but when you pump that much money into the economy, you're going to grossly devalue that currency. Finally, Marcelo Claure, the former SoftBank COO, who's famously battling it out with Masa Son over billions in compensation he claims he is owed, said he was increasing the crypto allocation of his personal holdings to 10%. We're starting to see Bitcoin as one of the safest ways in order for us to maintain our wealth, he said. Remember what I said? Well, I'm saying listen to what they say, but don't listen to what they say. Look at what they're doing. But they're saying and doing the same thing here. We're starting to see Bitcoin as one of the safest ways in order for us to maintain our wealth, he said. Whilst these comments are certainly encouraging for crypto bulls, and they represent a critical shift in crypto being accepted by a growing number of powerful figures who still see themselves as outsiders in the closely guarded world of Wall Street, we would be surprised if their comments didn't elicit some kind of pushback, not just from the financial gerontocracy, but from the central bankers who are the stewards of the fiat system. Just this past week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that crypto poses a risk that could disrupt the financial system. It's a familiar strategy. The central banker cabal is skeptical of all crypto except central bank digital currencies, blockchain-based cryptocurrencies that they can control and use to strip society of the last vestiges of privacy and monetary freedom. And this is why I'm a supporter of Bitcoin. It's not just as an investment. You are protecting yourself against inflation. You are protecting yourself from having your finances, your hard-earned money seized, not just directly, out of a frozen bank account because they made you a non-person, but through the stealth of inflation. Okay, and we are fast getting to the point where you won't have to leave the crypto space. Okay, I don't think the internet's going to go down because these juggernauts, these globalists who are trying to inject technocracy, they need the internet as much as we do. So, my friends, take note of this video. It could be a very important part of your life. And like I say, send me an email and I'll send you my protocols.
So I think you can see quite clearly that what they have done for us is basically put their faith in Bitcoin. And I'm certain, like I say, if you've got a lot of money, you are careful with that. You have people who look after that money for you, and you don't invest it in things that look like they're going to collapse. Okay, and I'll tell you a little saying that I came across is that there are only two motivators in this world. The first one is hope of gain, and the second one is fear of loss. And when push comes to shove, fear of loss will win out every single time. So what that means is people are a lot more afraid of losing things. They like to gain things, but if they had the choice between the two, they would rather not lose rather than gain. And so these billionaires, they know that. Now, why would they put their faith in Bitcoin? Why would they feel that their money is safe in Bitcoin? And one of them actually said, this is the only way to protect our money, and that it is a viable alternative to the fiat banking system. So please, I am urging you, not financial advice, but I am urging you to look into how you get into and out of cryptos, going from fiat to crypto, crypto back to fiat, opening a wallet, and so that you have those doors open and ready to go should you need to. Now, if somebody, like my email is below, if you want to send me an email, I will send you my protocols. Okay, so just go down into the description box below, you'll see my email there. Just send me an email and I will attach the protocols that I use and that I use in my Bitcoin presentation, so that you know how to at least safely enter this space. And I've also put some warnings in there, things to really avoid, so that you don't fall into the pitfalls. And also I will send you an invite. If you put your name in there, full name, I will send you an invite from CoinSquare to make sure that you get the correct website. A lot of scams about these days. And you also get $10 of free Bitcoin if you sign up with CoinSquare. I think it's $100 minimum deposit or something. Anyways, open those doors. I am not selling Bitcoin. I am not counseling you to buy Bitcoin. I am simply suggesting, for the sake of safety, like these billionaires who are realizing that our financial system is crumbling and inflation is inbound. My last two videos basically gave you an idea, and we haven't even seen this is just the beginning of the inflationary cycle, because all of these things, we live in a world that is just completely tied together. You cannot pull one string anymore and not have an effect somewhere else. And the strings that we pulled on have just had such repercussions. So yeah, inflation is inbound, and be aware of that. Anything that is in dollar denominations is going to go to zero. And if you, well, again, it's interesting that they talked about digital currencies, central bank digital currencies, and what a trap they are. So bear that in mind too. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. Please share far and wide. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.